I opened the door, and there they were, my mother, my father, standing on my porch like ghosts, smiling, actually smiling. My mother had a scarf around her neck, the same blue color she used to wear when I was 16. And all I could think was, you have no idea what is about to happen to you. Let me take you back to where this all started, because what happened next, I still can't believe it myself. My name is Claire, and I grew up in a small town in Ohio, Millfield, population 1,100 people. Everybody knew everybody. And my parents, Gerald and Patricia Monroe, they were respected people in that town. My father was a deacon at the church. My mother ran the women's Bible study every Thursday. We looked perfect from the outside, but inside that house, perfection was the only thing that mattered. Not love, not understanding, perfection. I was 17 when I found out I was pregnant. His name was Danny. We were young, stupid, and love the way only teenagers can be. When I told my parents, I thought they would be upset. I thought there would be crying, arguing, maybe a week of cold silence. I did not think my father would look at me like I was a stranger. I did not think my mother would go upstairs and come back with a garbage bag filled with my clothes. She set it at the foot of the stairs, didn't say a word. My father pointed at the door, and he said, I remember every single syllable. You have shamed this family. You are not welcome in this house. I said, Daddy, please, I have nowhere to go. He opened the door. That was November 14th, 2001. I was 17 years old. I was 8 weeks pregnant, and I had $43 in my purse. I stood on that porch for a long time. I kept thinking, they're going to open the door. They're going to come back. The porch light clicked off. I walked to my friend Tamara's apartment that night. She was 19, working 2 jobs, living in a 1-bedroom place on Maple Street. She let me sleep on her couch without asking a single question. That woman saved my life. I will never forget her for that. The next 8 months were the hardest of my entire life. I got a job at a diner. I saved every dollar. I found a clinic. I did it all alone. And on July 22nd, 2002, my daughter Lily was born. 6 pounds, 4 ounces. The most beautiful thing I had ever seen. I looked at her tiny face and I made her a promise. I will never let anyone make you feel like you are not enough. I tried, one time, to call my parents. Lily was 2 weeks old. I thought maybe, seeing a baby would change something. The phone rang 4 times. My mother picked up. I said, Mama, she's here. You have a granddaughter. Long silence. Then she said, Don't call here again, Claire. Click. I didn't cry. I was too tired to cry. But what I didn't know was that this was only the beginning. I want you to understand something. I didn't just survive. I rebuilt. By the time Lily was 3 years old, I had my GED. By the time she was 6, I had my associate's degree. I was working at a law firm downtown, entry level, filing papers, making coffee. But I was inside that building, and I was watching, learning, taking notes. Tamara watched Lily after school. I worked doubles on weekends. We ate a lot of rice and beans in those years. A lone owl pine tree swayed gently shoreline. But Lily never knew we were struggling because I made sure she always felt warm, always felt safe, always felt like she was enough. By 2010, Lily was 8 years old. I had passed my paralegal certification. I was making $54,000 a year. We moved into a 2-bedroom apartment in Columbus. Real furniture, a real bed, a little backyard with a plastic slide. Lily used to ask me about her grandparents. Kids do that. They ask the questions that hit the hardest. She'd say, Mama, do I have a grandma? And I would smile and say, You have me, baby. That's everything. I never told her what they did. She was too young to carry that weight. So I carried it alone, the way I always had. Now, I want to tell you about 2014, because this is where things get darker before they get better. Lily was 12. I was 30 years old. I had just been promoted to senior paralegal at Morrison & Blake Law Group. I was doing well, really well. And then I got a letter. No return address. Postmarked from Millfield, Ohio. My stomach dropped the second I saw that postmark. I opened it. It was from my mother. 3 paragraphs. Handwritten. She said she had been thinking about me. She said she hoped I was okay. She said, and I need you to hear this part clearly. She said, "We heard you had a daughter. We would love to meet her someday. No apology, no acknowledgement of what they did. No, we were wrong, Claire. We are so sorry. Just, we heard you have a daughter." Like I was a neighbor they hadn't seen in a while. Like they hadn't slammed a door in my pregnant face at 17. I sat at my kitchen table for a long time with that letter. Then I folded it up, put it back in the envelope, and I put it in a box on the top shelf of my closet. I didn't respond. But wait, because what they did next, even the people who hated me felt sorry for me. 3 months later, my Aunt Linda called me, my mother's sister. We had stayed in touch over the years, quietly, carefully. She was a good woman. She never agreed with what my parents did. She said, "Claire, honey, I need to tell you something. Your parents have been talking about you at church." I said, "Talking about me how?" She paused. Then she said, "They've been telling people that they raised you right and that you chose to leave." I felt something cold move through my chest. They were rewriting history. In their small town, in their church, in front of people who had known me since I was a little girl, they were telling people I had abandoned them. My father, the deacon, was standing at that pulpit with his hands clean, while I had been out here for 13 years, doing everything alone, and apparently my mother had been showing people a photo she had found somewhere, maybe from a mutual acquaintance, of me and Lily. She was showing it around, saying, "That's our granddaughter. We pray for her every day." Our granddaughter, a child she had never met, a child she had refused to meet. Linda told me one more thing before she hung up. She said, "Claire, your father is sick, heart problems, and your mother, I think she's scared. I think that's why she's reaching out." I thanked Linda. I hung up the phone, and I walked to Lily's room. She was doing homework at her little desk, pencil tucked behind her ear. She looked up at me and smiled. That smile, that was the moment. I walked back to my room. I sat on the edge of my bed, and I made a decision. That night, lying there in the dark, something shifted inside me. I was done being the person this happened to. I was going to become the person who decided how this ended. So I made some calls, and what I found out changed absolutely everything. Before I tell you what happened next, if you are new here, hit subscribe, because this story is about to get a lot more interesting. And trust me, you do not want to miss this ending. I called Aunt Linda back first. I asked her one simple question. "Linda, does my mother still go to that church every Sunday?" She said, "Every single week, front row." I said, "Good." Then I called my old friend Tamara, the woman who saved my life at 17, the one who gave me her couch without a single question. She was living in Cleveland now, doing well, 2 kids of her own. I told her everything, what the letter said, what my mother was doing at church, how they were rewriting the story. Tamara went quiet for a moment, then she said, "Claire, what do you need?" I said, "I need you to remember." She said, "Oh, honey, I remember everything." See, here's what my parents did not know. They did not know that Tamara had kept a journal. She had written everything down. The night I showed up at her door with a garbage bag, the exact date. November 14th, 2001, the $43. The 8 weeks pregnant, every single detail. Documented, in her own handwriting, dated entries. They did not know that I had saved every piece of paper from those years. Hospital records from Lily's birth showing my emergency contact was Tamara, not my parents. My GED certificate dated 2004, my lease agreements, my pay stubs, a paper trail of every year they were absent, and they did not know that I had spent the last 6 years working inside a law firm, that I had attorney friends, that I understood exactly how documentation works. And the best part, she walked right into it. She had no idea, because in March of 2024, my mother called me directly. First time in 23 years, I heard her voice. She sounded older, softer, nervous. She said, "Claire, it's your mother." I said nothing. I let her talk. She said they wanted to reconnect. She said my father's health was declining. She said, "And here it comes. We just want to see the child, Claire, before it's too late." The child, not our granddaughter whose name we know, not Lily, who we abandoned before she was even born. Just the child. I kept my voice completely calm. I said, I understand, let's meet. She sounded surprised, almost relieved. She said, really? I said, yes. I think it's time we talked, face to face. I gave her my address. I told her Sunday, 2 o'clock. She said, we'll be there. I spent that week preparing. I printed Tamara's journal entries. I gathered every document from those 23 years. I put them in a neat manila folder. I also called Pastor David Green, the current pastor of my parents' church in Millfield. I explained the situation calmly and professionally. He listened. He was a decent man. He said, Miss Monroe, I appreciate you telling me this. Sunday came. They pulled into my driveway at 1:58 p.m. I watched from the window. My father looked thin, older. He moved slowly, getting out of the car. My mother had that blue scarf on. They stood at my door and rang the bell. I took one breath. I opened it. My mother's face broke into this wide, warm smile, like we were old friends reuniting. She said, Claire, oh sweetheart, you look wonderful. I stepped aside. I let them in. I offered them water. They sat on my couch. My father looked around the house, the real furniture, the framed photos, the bookshelves. I watched his eyes move across everything I had built. Then my mother said it. So, where is she? Where is the child? I sat down across from them. I placed the manila folder on the coffee table. I said, before we talk about Lily, I need us to talk about something else. My mother's smile flickered. I opened the folder. I slid the first document across the table. Tamara's journal entry, November 14th, 2001. This is the night you put me out. 8 weeks pregnant, $43. My father looked at the paper. He said nothing. I slid the next one. Lily's birth record. Emergency contact, Tamara, Washington. This is the night your granddaughter was born. You were not there. My mother's hands were in her lap now. Very still. I kept going. Document after document. Every year, every milestone, every absence. I said, you have been telling your church that I left, that I chose this. I need you to know, I have every piece of paper that proves exactly what happened. My father's jaw tightened. My mother's eyes filled with tears. She said, Claire, we made mistakes. I held up my hand, gently, firmly. I said, I know you did. And I have spent 23 years making sure your mistakes did not become my daughter's story. I closed the folder. I said, Lily knows she is loved. She knows she is enough. She does not need you to complete her. She never did. Long silence. Then I said the 2 words they will never forget. Quiet, calm, final. Goodbye, Gerald. Goodbye to Sherald. I stood up. I walked to the door. I opened it. My father looked at me one last time, and for the first time in my entire life, I saw something on his face I had never seen before. Shame. They walked out. I closed the door. I stood there for a moment. Then I exhaled. 2 weeks later, Pastor Green called me. He said my parents had stood up in front of the congregation, and they had told the truth, the real story, all of it. My father cried. Apparently, my mother asked the church to pray, not for them, but for me and Lily. I did not expect that. I will be honest, I did not expect that at all. Lily is 23 years old now. She is in her final year of law school. She wants to work with young mothers in crisis. She is extraordinary. She knows the full story now. I told her when she turned 18. She listened. She cried a little. Then she looked at me and said, Mama, you were 17 and you chose me. That's the bravest thing I've ever heard. And that was worth every single hard year. The final update, my mother wrote me one last letter, 6 months ago, 3 pages long, a real apology this time. Every word of it. I read it twice. I put it in the box. I have not responded yet. Maybe I will someday. Maybe I will someday. Maybe I won't. But that decision belongs to me. And honestly, I don't regret a single thing. I was 17, alone, scared, and I chose to keep going anyway. I chose Lily. I chose myself, and I never stopped choosing us. not for one single day. Some people think family means you have to forgive everything. I disagree. Family means showing up, and some people, they lose that right. If you have ever been thrown away by the people who were supposed to love you most, I want you to know something. You are not what they decided you were. You are what you built after they left. Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. Every single one. And if this hit different for you today, share it with someone who needs to hear it. I'll see you in the next one.